Well, Commodore, you just got back from your spring cruise, yes?
Yes, it was very eventful. We had several sicknesses on the cruise.
Really?
And we had several breakdowns on the cruise.
Oh,
so
dear.
And there was lots of wind on the cruise.
Well,
so
that's good.
but not the sort of winds we had. That wasn't good.
So where did you start and where'd you go?
Well, we were all, or most of us gathered in Wye River.
Okay.
For the Olympics, and there were about 6 boats who were planning to join the cruise. Some were there and some were joining on the way. So the wind was coming up, and a couple of boats decided to go and stay in Knapp's Narrows for the night.
Okay.
We stayed in the Granary Creek, and the cruise director, Val Tolliver, he joined us, and so we rafted up and stayed there that night. The next day we found that Sam had a rash on his chest.
Really?
We decided we'd go and continue with our vet. So we set off, and it was just had the half jib going up to Kent Narrows. Just had a half jib, and we flew on there.
Oh my goodness.
Because it was quite a blow from the southwest.
Where'd the rest of them go?
The others went over to Leadenham Creek. They'd spent the night in Knapp's Narrows. They went on to Leadenham Creek. We went over to Mill Creek, docked in Providence. Mickey took us home, and then we took our dog Sam up to the vet, and the vet says you can't put him in water for 2 weeks.
Oh.
So that meant he couldn't continue on the cruise. Margaret couldn't continue on the cruise. But Mickey and I decided we'd go together, and the only question was which boat. We decided to go in my boat.
Right.
So we, the next day, set off. We went through Knapp's Narrows, and we joined everybody in San Domingo Creek.
San Domingo.
San Domingo.
Okay.
And Chris White and Interlude joined us there. The next day, there was a race, the first race. So we all set off, and we went over to La Trappe. That was an interesting race. The wind was perfect to start with, almost a beat to get over there.
All right.
But as we got through the Narrow, just before getting to La Trappe, the wind died. And I've got a chart plotter, so the chart plotter would say, and the tide was going out, so the chart plotter would say we were going over there, and then it would flip as the current dominated, and showed we were going backwards. But eventually,
strong currents there, yeah.
Eventually the wind came in, and we finished first, but Interlude was close behind, and they won the race.
Okay.
But I think it was about 7 o'clock, these thunder clouds came through, and I was glad that I had Mickey on board with all his experience.
Right.
He's got a lot more than I have, and so we battened down all the hatches, and we saw over 40 knots of wind come down, and rain like in torrents. We couldn't see too far.
How long?
Most dragged.
Yep.
And it was interesting because all the only boats that we saw were dragging all had all chain.
Huh, interesting.
And the people who had nylon rode with that little give, maybe that's the reason, but they didn't drag.
Interesting observation.
We didn't drag. Yeah. So next day we were all going to take one boat, his boat as a matter of fact, and go into Oxford, and Mickey Doran, my crew, woke up and felt nauseous and dizzy, and he thought he had some food poisoning. But we talked about different options, but eventually we decided we'd go home. So, end of the cruise for me.
Oh dear.
Other people, with this wind coming through, they felt that going into Tripp Creek was a bit exposed, so they went into Leadenham Creek again.
Okay.
And the next day they all had a fine sail right down with I think just jibs, or part sail, right down to Solomon's. Ballada halyard break.
Oh dear, that's a problem.
There was a water pump problem with Interlude. We all ended up at Ted Reinhold's place, and some by land yacht, as we did, and so quite a number of people by
Land and sea.
Land and sea, and had a very nice evening there. Before the storm was supposed to come through.
Yeah, right. It always sort of closes down the party when the storms come. But it's the cruise. There was just one race or two? Just one?
There was just one race. Two were scheduled, but because of the problems with wind and breakage. Sam was stuck about it.
How'd you do that? Excellent. Salmon with some sort of spicy things in it.
What do you mean? You don't know what you're eating?
No, it's salmon with a spiced sauce, marinated. Actually, it's a box of salmon from Sam's, and it came with whatever it came with.
Oh, this is a kit.
It's a kit. It's a kit.
Okay, folks, that's what a kit of salmon looks like.
Kit of salmon from Sam's.
Or salmon kit. Yeah, right. George, what do you have there today?
Huh?
What do you have?
Horse meat hamburgers. Either that or buffalo meat. I don't know what she said it was.
That's exotic. That's good.
Very exotic.
Yes.
For a 35 power.
Are they done?
One more time.
Is that the match?
Don't put that on mine.
We don't want salt. Can you raise it?
I have killed people for this.
No salt.
Don't do that, Warren.
I spilled salt.
Here.
I think we had at any one time five.
Yeah.
I think if you count up all the people that paid it a little bit, there were probably about 10.
Yeah.
But
it takes 10 to make 5.
Yeah. Right. At any one point in time, I think.
All right, Commodore. Thank you for keep up the good work.
Okay.
All right.
Do
Bye.
my best, but I can't control the weather and the breaking.
That's true. Okay. See you. Bye.
Thanks.
What's next?
The next planned event is the July sale. We never participate in that because of Sam. He doesn't like fireworks.
Right.
But I'm sure a lot of people will. And there's a race on the 4th crew. So I encourage people to participate and join in the great CBC events.
Good.